Well, the gods were against us today, loyal viewers. The powers that be that control Roll20 didn't want to work. So instead of our usual offering, we have a small radio play where the group recovers, gets a little more information, and rests before their next grand plan of attack. In this episode entitled Metaphors Are Magic, we do a little bit of information gathering, a little bit of community panic, and ideally, in our next session, we will get right back on the road. We hope you enjoy.
We're off to adventure to go roll the dice. Come seize your advantage and you'll roll them twice. Even if we lose our way, we'll make a journey someday. Something awaits you, so wake us away. Who knows what role you'll play? Who knows what role you'll play?
Best intro ever. All right. Well, the guys at Roll20 have smoked our usual meeting place, so we are going to just do a little bit of downtime and pick up full blast next session. So to recap what happened last time, y'all got your butts handed to you.
Lies. Can't prove it.
I can
Actually,
still
there's
see
video
the
of
game.
We just got tired of fighting that guy.
Yeah,
and it was like,
you
all
got
right, well,
real tired.
yeah,
like zero hit points tired.
This guy's a little boring, so we're gonna just go. We'll come back later. It's fine.
So yeah,
We didn't want to fight anyway.
Y'all met the Heart of the Wood. Had a good time. Mistakes were made.
Lily's decided she's a pacifist now.
Yeah, everyone put down their weapons forever. At the end of that session, the group had split into two parties. We've got we got Team Heals on the south side who went one direction, and Team Offensive Magic who went north in a completely opposite direction.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be perfectly fine. Yeah, and no one really has. Well, I guess Davynn's got some survival skill, but that's about it because Hildreth was absent. So, y'all have split on opposite sides of the Heart of the Wood. And what would you like to do now?
Well, I guess since we're like separated and I have no idea how many spell slots I have left, honestly. I closed out and I don't want to fight Roll20. I'll turn to Xylund and be like, yo, Xylund, as we're running and panting. What's the plan? Where are we going?
I guess we'll just head back towards the cult and hope that we rendezvous with the others. If not, I guess we'll come back. We're not much used to them right now anyway, so.
Yeah.
At this point, Lily's voice resounds in your head, reminding you, by the way, we do still have a telepathic communication.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
Head back to the camp, the cult camp.
We'll do our best. We kind of went further in because Davynn is crazy. And
I panicked.
Well, I saw that, but turn around, like do a loop and come back towards the cult camp.
Like I said, we'll do our best, but these are Fey woods, so who knows how turned around we'll get. On the plus side, we're all invisible at the moment.
Nice. Well, we aren't, so.
I was gonna say, yeah, the The three up
big-
north are invisible. The big clanking dude in armor is not invisible.
No, that's who Lily was talking about. You guys are heading in the direction of out of the woods. We're not, so
All right. Kern, I've got your character sheet up. It's chugging like nobody's business, but I've got it up. You've got 4 first level, 3 second level, 3 fourth level currently.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I can still. I was just wondering about sending, but since that is not a problem
No,
with their
sending is-
telepathic thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys do still have your link.
Oh shit!
So you guys
I've got a second level spell slot. I'll summon Steed. I will summon Snowfunks.
All right. So you summon Snufflums, who appears. No, he pops into being. His wings are looking better. A little
Oh,
larger, yeah, a little straighter. Still not on exactly right. A little crooked, but they seem to be a little better constructed than last time you saw him. Very happy to see you. Very happy to see Kern.
I'd hop on his back after admiring his wings and then pull
Thank
Kern up after me.
That's
If you
big.
get before my weight, sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say big honking. Heavy ass
Snowfunks
Kern.
is super powerful.
Oh yeah, he can carry both of you. I'm just imagining our string bean paladin hauling up this big honking cleric in metal armor.
Yeah, well, it's not graceful.
No, I bet not. But no, you both do fit on. You have to sit on opposite sides of the wings though, because it's like right in the middle, and you know.
So does that mean Kern can't wrap his arms around me?
No, not without breaking the wings. No,
Oh.
he's gonna have to keep his hands to himself.
Darn it.
Unfortunately. Where are we going?
Back to the cult, which is that way. I think.
Well,
I'll
we
point in the
hit like
direction I think it is.
we hit 2 huts beforehand. One with the dead bodies, and then one without.
Right.
Mhm. So you're just
Wait, you
gonna-
can navigate and stuff. Which way is it back to the hut?
I look up and I don't think I see stars.
You
above
can't
me.
see the sky. No.
I think that way. I think we fought. Well, if we're going back the way we came, I will try a survival check
Okay.
because I think we can roll in here, right?
I will
Oh,
assist.
I'm pretty sure we have a roll bot. Don't we? Yeah, we have a whole thingy for roll bot.
do we?
Yeah, it's in its own it's in its
Rolling
own
stuff,
yeah, thing.
Oh, rolling
can't-
stuff. I see.
I just,
I
forgot.
rolled
that it existed.
17.
Oh, you got
do
to do
you
an
roll?
exclamation point.
I mean, I just did it.
Yeah, the exclamation point is the command.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I told you. Even if I had such a massive bonus, I'd roll nothing but ones.
2d20. Exclamation.
No,
Hang on.
Look,
I'm in roll
roll
20. I can just roll for you.
2d20, like that.
I don't see what you typed in.
It's
Oh.
above the RP bot. Bang
Oh,
roll. Bang
gotcha.
roll 2d20.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a 20 plus 25 since Xylund was helping me.
Okay.
You did say he was helping, right?
Yeah, I'm helping.
Yes.
He's a great help. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's worth that much help, but okay.
Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's a nat 20.
it is. Yeah, you actually did roll your 20. Pardon. So you're able to trace your own steps coming back, especially in this part of the woods because the ground is pretty soft.
Mhm.
So that helps, even though you can't obviously navigate through the stars. You can certainly trace your own footsteps.
Right.
And so you are able to make your way back slowly. Stoflunks does not seem to be particularly comfortable. I mean, he's not saying anything, but he's clearly not super jazzed to be where you are.
What's the problem, buddy?
It's weird here.
Yep.
Bless you. But he picks his way slowly. He seems to be very careful with where he's stepping. He won't move faster than a walk around the undergrowth, but he'll make his way back to the cabin effectively.
How
Since
does it
that's
feel
where
funny?
you-
Snowflunks.
The light's weird, and I don't know. You can hear things that aren't quite right.
Does it remind you of anything?
I haven't been here, have I?
I don't
You would
think
tell
so.
me if I've been here. No, I don't think I've been here.
How does this compare to Xana Heaven?
This is very scary.
So not at all like Xana Heaven?
Not at all like home.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there butterflies in Xana Heaven?
So many. There are so many.
There's
All the
only
time.
butterflies. Butterfly.
Kern breaks out in
Take me
song.
away.
Yeah, Snowflakes carefully picks his way through the undergrowth and takes you slowly back to the cabin, catching eye of all the little mounds that you guys passed and kind of giving them a wide berth. What about Team Offensive Magic? What is Team North doing as Xylund and Kern make their way back to the first camp, or the last camp, actually?
Lily is massively out of breath, trying to at least keep Davynn and Lana in sight. What with True Vision and all.
Oh, right. Yes. There we go.
But she's got a stitch in her side. She feels like she's pretty sure one of her lungs has been punctured. Her 5 blisters has grown to like a foot blister. She's just not having a great time.
There is something to be said about D&D characters and being extraordinarily good at like going through wilderness stuff. Like I went hiking yesterday and I was pooped.
Yes.
And that was only like 2 hours.
Davynn will carry Lily if it comes down to it. Piggyback style.
Does he even know that she's running after him? Because she's invisible too.
Not really, but I imagine that Lily said something at this point.
Yeah,
she's screaming in Davynn's mind, "Stop! Stop!"
No, I'm okay. I said I panicked, and I'm not currently panicking. Pretty sure I'm not.
I don't know how long it's been since we left the clearing.
Well, you guys just left, like literally, y'all just left.
So
the
he might still be mid panic.
I'm pretty sure I'm not panicking anymore. Don't you dare tell me what my own mental state is.
Pretty sure.
Okay. Well, all right then. In that case, Lily's probably not too far behind, but yeah, she's just dashing after him.
Okay. So, Davynn, obviously you could hear the plan set forth by Xylund and Kern. What would you like to do as you get your bearings outside the heart of the wood?
Well, I mean, we have to go back, so we might as well just start heading back carefully.
So how long does invisibility last?
About
like an hour? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I guess we can try and sneak our way the long way around, and hope we don't get lost.
Sounds good. Let's go. I can lead the way, maybe. I told you I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking right now. I'm not panicking right now.
I don't
Go ahead
even
and
know
roll
where
your
we are.
survival.
We dashed out of there, and I wasn't really paying attention on how we got here. Were you paying attention? I wasn't paying attention.
I mean, I was panicking then because I wasn't paying attention, but I'm paying attention now because I'm not panicking.
No,
not.
I meant before we got to that random part of the woods. I have no idea how we got here. In general.
I mean, I think I was the one who led the way. So
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you
Okay.
actually followed the tracks between you and Kern. Yeah, your tracking ability and his general perception. Yeah, but you did it from the opposite end of the clearing. So where you are now is completely new territory. You don't have the tracks that Kern and Xylund do.
I'll try to retrace my own tracks in that case.
I mean, go ahead and roll your survival.
Okay, I don't know what my survival was.
I can roll your survival. It'll just take me a second to load your character sheet because Roll20 is a wonderful program. Survival. Roll20 plus 18. Your bonus is plus 4. So you got an 18 in Roll20.
Sweet. All right.
You suppose we can find a good location to maybe catch our breaths a bit? I'm still pretty sure my lung's been perforated at some point.
I feel like all of our lungs have been perforated. Except for maybe Lana. Lana didn't take that much damage, relatively.
And she got crow attack, and that was about it. With an 18, though, you're able to get a general sense of at least what direction to travel in. It's a little slower, obviously, than Xylund and Kern are going to go for one, you don't have a mount, and for two, you don't, like I said, you don't have the clearer markers that they do, but you can kind of get a sense of how to make your way back to the cabin, or in the general direction of the cabin, and able to lead everyone there.
So we'll head that way, except invisible and keeping an eye out for some evil spirit thing.
Oh, now that you have a better sense of what they look like, you see the totems, the little antler man totems, pretty thickly throughout the woods as you travel. Both groups, they are they are very numerous. There are some that are very obvious that hang from lower level branches, or that are tied to trees, or that are standing up from the ground or surrounded by rocks, that have places of prominence. But there are also a lot of others that are more camouflaged and hidden in between branches or hidden in the undergrowth, where you can just make out the bit of white that marks the mask and the antlers. As you move away from the heart, those totems, while never completely disappearing, they do thin, and they start to move away from the more obscure ones into just ones that become more prominent on the side of the road, until they begin to disappear almost entirely by the time you hit the cabin. But as the totems decrease, the sounds of the wood sort of fill that space. As you get further from the heart, you hear more wildlife sounds, bird song, things like that, things moving in the underbrush, but also untraceable, sort of undefinable sounds. Wind when there is no wind, and the branches don't actually move, but you distinctly hear the sound of leaves rattling against one another, and a general sort of howl that goes through, as well as the always audible just barely at the edge of your hearing, babbling, like talking constantly, multiple voices of various pitches, unintelligible, but there, sometimes obscured by the sounds of wind and sometimes melding with them. As you pick your way back to the wrecked, I will remind you, cabin of clay and thatch. Xylund and Kern, you will obviously get there first.
Mhm.
You are closer, following a more defined trail, and you have a horsey.
Mhm.
So you make your way through the path, reverse engineer your way back to the cabin, which looks much as you left it.
Yes.
Not
Disheveled
much
and
has
broken.
changed. Yeah, broken, messed up, and a dead creature half cut out of a bag.
Should we just wait here and hope the others show up?
I think so. And hope that Mr. Antler Man doesn't show up either. Yeah.
Actually, I guess we can ask them if this is where they're headed. Hey guys, are you headed towards the ruined cabin? Davynn?
I'm following Davynn, so
Yes, we are headed towards the ruined cabin.
Okay.
Now we are, at least.
Follow this
No,
down to
but-
my mind voice.
what are you talking about, Davynn? We were always heading there, right? Right?
Yes, we were. That's where we were gonna meet, because I was paying attention because I wasn't panicking.
Exactly. Nobody's panicking and nobody's lost. We're on our way to that cabin.
All right. So team number 2, you guys do pick your way with Davynn totally not panicking and leading you with only a few variations and roundabouts and double backs. You do make it to the cabin as well in pretty decent time, considering your speed disadvantage. So now all of you have gathered at the ruins of the Cutter's cabin, beaten, a little battered, and a little bloody, recently dead, but much better
So-
now.
I'm for sleep. Who else is for sleep? We all for
No,
sleep?
not
Well-
here. No, we're going back to the cult camp.
So we met another cutter here. I'm up for talking to him to see like if he knows anything about this stuff.
Also, are we like dead to the cult camp now because of the whole tradition of people who go into the woods are dead to them?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
dead.
Yeah, but we can just make another temple on the beach and stay there.
I can't.
Well, then we can sleep under the stars. I don't want to sleep in these woods.
I could create a tiny hut. I mean, it's not an actual hut. It's just a dome, but it's safe.
I don't know. I feel like everyone will be comparing your tiny hut to the big temple, and we'll just all be disappointed.
I mean, you will be disappointed. There's 0 amenities, but it's a safety thing. Nobody can come inside once I cast it.
Well,
Safe
there's
from-
someone I want to talk to back at the cult camp, if they'll talk to me.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I can just cast it after you're done.
I'm just saying, like, I thought you were suggesting we cast a tiny hut out here, but if we do
Oh.
cast a tiny hut, which I'm not opposed to, I'd rather we do it as a cult camp.
It's also
Yes.
been like 3 hours.
Yeah, we got
I-
time to get back.
I also don't trust this forest, so I agreed.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we let the other cutter know that his life is in danger and all this stuff?
Well, the horn man didn't follow us out of the really scary part.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, we can at least let him know that his friends are dead.
Okay.
See if he has any insight onto what's been happening, and then we can go back to the town that doesn't recognize our existence.
All right. Okay.
Good to me.
All right. So, with the group now together and traveling confidently back the way they came, away from the totems and the whispers and the oddness, back into, if not friendlier, at least not as dark territory. You guys make your way back to the original camp that you were led to, where you were, as Kern pointed out, you spoke to your first cutter, who is still not outside, is still very much in his cabin. Oh yeah, you can see there's a little bit of smoke coming from the chimney, and no one has been outside in your absence.
Knock, knock, knock.
Knock, knock, knock. Door opens just a tiny bit. His face presses against it.
Hey, so these woods are scary. We found the other hut that was a little bit further in with 2 other cutters. Unfortunately, there's no good news about that. They were both not living when we found them. Also, we found Davynn. Can I get the thingamabobber dagger thing?
I'll give him the thingamabobber dagger thing.
The cold iron dagger.
Yeah, the gold iron dagger. Yeah, we found them with this. Do you know anything about this?
And so you can see, all you can really see is kind of his face and like half his nose, or his eye and half his nose. Eye cast down on the blade, and he mutters, "No, that's not allowed."
It was in their possession when we found them. Not living.
We also found a few charms with cold iron on them, and a very angry horned wooden spirit of some kind that was very angry and didn't like us very much.
As Lily talks, his eye grows wider through the crack in the door. You walked into the heart of the wood?
I mean, like, it's either that's the problem of it or it's not the problem. We had to figure it out. Good
And
news is we found out that is definitely the problem.
That's also where the cutters were dragged to.
If they were carrying cold iron, they deserve their deaths. The wood wouldn't tolerate that. That's a sin against everything we've ever been taught.
Oh wait, maybe the cold iron is the problem. Maybe if we just get rid of the cold iron, everything's fixed.
Well, the question is, why did they have it? Where did they get it from? It's not something that you can just, carry willy-nilly in.
Yeah.
Where do you know where they might have got it from?
No, there's no such thing as that here. And no one from the village would have brought it.
Which means there's... Go ahead.
Aside from us, has there been any other, like, weird happenings in the forest or, like, new things that have happened?
We're
New
not
people
weird
come
happenings.
in? Yeah, we are weird happenings.
And so you can see he's thinking about it. His eye kind of goes half closed. One of the few times I saw Ash after, we made the second camp, when he came back for his bag, he said something about, I thought he was just telling a story. He liked to tell stories like that. He was good at it. He told a story about meeting a man in a cloak. I thought he was just trying to scare me because there are no men here but us. But even so, it was just a story.
Did he say where he met this man in a cloak?
Well, he said it was by the old camp. The camp they were building. We chose that place because there used to be a hut there. We thought it'd be easier to build on what used to be than make new, save some time.
Do you happen to know where this hut is?
Oh, it's the new camp now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just used the old spot, so it wouldn't take quite so long. Said it was up there. But yeah, I think he was just funning me at the time.
So maybe the dead dryad things weren't the previous cutters, and they just dug it up from the old camp that used to be there. Maybe they just
Sorry,
found
can you explain that thought there, Kern? It came out a bit jumbled. We saw a lot of dead dryads.
Yeah, we saw some dead dryads in there, but like maybe that was from the old camp, and when they were doing construction on the new camp, they came across that stuff, and then that angered the forest.
So they decided to pick it up, put it in a bag, and put it on a fire.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think that's the new camp there, Kern. That was quite a ways in.
That is the new camp, though.
That
That's
is
what
the
he's
new
talking
camp.
about.
That is the new camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where all the dryads were moldy and stuff?
Well, I mean, the new camp is what you guys came to, the one that had the burning body or smoldering body.
Yeah, the one that was stabbed a lot.
Yes.
Or maybe they were digging something and they let loose some weird. God, I can't speak Pig Latin now with this particular name because it's so Urinella. Yeah, Urinella.
Or it could be that this cloaked figure is just a person who came and infiltrated the woods for the purpose of making it sick.
You can't.
I mean, it doesn't have to be.
The kids are talking immediately. You can't come into the woods unless the woods accept you. There's no one here.
Except
Wait, hold
So
on.
that means either A, they were powerful enough to get in through the woods, or they've been here the whole time.
Go ahead, Michael.
Lily, are you suggesting that there is somebody trying to Scooby-Doo the woods?
I mean, it's either that or we've stumbled across an Indian burial ground.
Native American burial ground.
I mean, I don't think this is a poltergeist issue.
People's focus. And those damn kids.
Yeah, because it seems like our options are Scooby-Doo villain or poltergeist Indian burial ground. Like,
or creepy Lirinel cult follower person who was buried at this place and sealed away, and then their steel was broken.
That's basically Indian burial ground poltergeist.
Yeah.
Or the Mummy. It could be the Mummy, Indian burial ground poltergeist, or Scooby-Doo.
Did this guy tell you anything else about this guy in the cloak?
Well, I mean, he told me a lot of things. That he spoke with a booming voice, and they had claws for hands, and.
Well, see, these are important details. Keep them coming.
But they're not. It's all just a story. I mean, you couldn't believe half the things Ash said. He was a jokester. That was.
Well, let's pretend that it's not a joke, and pretend that it might actually have something to do with this, and maybe we'll find something in this story that is actually true to life. All stories have some kernel of truth, something that inspired him.
just said, met a man in a cloak who could make his voice get big, echo.
Oh.
And he had claws for hands. But that's, I don't know, the man talked a lot of stuff I didn't really understand. And
Did he say what happened when you met his man? Did he talk to him? Did anything?
yeah, he said he met him when they were looking for Fallen, and the man said he knew a way to get more wood faster.
Oh, well,
And
that's...
that just sounded to me like Ash was making up stories so he could, go take a nap and nobody would come looking for him. He was just off doing more wood faster. Again, it was just a storyteller.
Well, it sounds like thaumaturgy, the voice. And more wood faster sounds like taking what the forest hasn't given, which would make the forest angry, so you'd want some protection and get some cold iron.
We don't do that.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, I know you guys don't, but maybe this cloaked man did.
Did we do a real deep investigation of the new camp?
We investigated the hut and we investigated the fire, but nothing else.
Now that we know what happened there, that it's built on other foundations, maybe
We should probably go back and investigate it deeper.
yeah. But maybe we should go back to the cult camp and rest up first.
I vote that plan. Because if anything happens, if we have to fight anything in these woods, I'm not confident I'll make it out.
Yep, you're probably right. We're not in the best shape right now.
Coughs up blood.
That's not
Well,
good.
at least we can let the elders know like what's going on, or at least given them an update. That is, assuming they recognize our existence.
All right. So back to the village.
Back to the village.
Back to the village. All right.
Village.
Onward.
Cough, cough.
So it's a fairly straightforward and marked path back to the outskirts of the village, back to the arena where you all did your trials. The scaffolding that Davynn loves so well has been put away by now, unfortunately. So it is not there. But it is deserted. And on this end of the village, you effectively have two options. If you continue to go straight, you'll end up on the backside of the Elder's Hut. And if you veer off in sort of the right direction a little bit, you'll end up with the you'll end up at the gardens of the Elven Elder. Mm-hmm. So it's your choice which way you'd like to go.
Let's go try to talk to the one who
Who you have a thing for?
me. No, the other way around.
Uh-huh.
She seemed the most talkative though.
Okay.
The Elder's Hut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's three of them, aren't there? Or
yes, there are three total elders. There's the old elven man. He's the gardener. Mm-hmm. The one that doesn't speak anything but Elvish. The orcish, the half orc female elder seems to be sort of the one most in charge. Like she seems to be the one that handles most of the communication with the group and sort of the ceremonial lead. And then there's the halfling, who is the one that you that you tried to take home.
For a second there, I was worried that I was sitting on a half orc. I was like, I don't remember that.
No, it's halfling. No, she's very
Okay.
small. Very small. But yeah, she seemed to be the most worldly of the three, or at least the one most willing to discuss outside matters. Yeah, she's the one who actually paid attention to your religious theories. I use the word very loosely. Yeah, so there are three. All right. Now, invisible friends, your invisibility has expired, so it is up to you whether you will reapply it before going back into the village.
I don't think we need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So traveling to the elder's hut at the edge of the village, you can hear the sounds of the village underway, mostly just the sounds of large groups of people, all talking simultaneously. It's, again, just a very comfortable sound, very comfortable, very lived in sound. Do you take any precautions heading into the village, or are you just going to go?
What are they going to do? They're farmers.
Okay.
Yeah, more or less agreed.
Wow. I mean, Davynn's time being dead changed him. So, coming to the back end, there's no entrance on the back end of the elder's hut. There's just the front door. So, coming around the side of the hut, you are now in full view of the village, which causes a bit of a panic to occur as you are caught sight. Like, people literally drop, as in physically just drop whatever they have in their hands and bolt for the opposite end of the village. They're heading to their homes, or they're heading to any perceived safe shelter. It's a bit of an issue.
Local group of young adults assaults village customs.
So
we weren't actually dead, you know that, right? It's just a metaphor.
Devolves into this panic. Yeah, they are freaking out. They're absolutely freaking out, scooping up children and rushing them away. The orcish elder comes to the door, not even with her little helper, just comes to the door of the elder's hut and opens it to see what in God's name is going on. Sees you, and face, just very, very angry face. She starts to rush out the door, but loses her balance pretty quickly, so she ends up hanging onto the door frame, and orders you in a booming voice to get your bodies inside this door immediately.
Oh gosh.
I'll tell Snowfox to wait outside.
Which he does happily, just swishing his tail and just, do checking it out. Doesn't seem at all upset that everyone's freaking out. Just do. All right. You go inside the elder's tent, and she just glares daggers at you, and she points to a section of the hut near the fire. It's just bare floor, with one or two sort of flat cushions pushed up against the wall. And she snarls at you to sit. And then she goes out, this time with her helper scurrying to take her other arm. And you can again hear her booming voice telling people to calm down, that it was fine, that it was ascending from the forest. Everything is okay.
These people are seriously brainwashed. It's a
I
good thing
wasn't
we
100
were kicked
percent
out
sold
of
on the
the
cult thing until now.
You guys are left in this hut for a minute or two as the elder is trying to calm her people. And she comes back in. Yeah, the screams die down after a bit. And she's, she comes back in. She would be stomping if she could, but she doesn't move that fast. So she takes up her chair on the opposite end of the hall and just glares at you, just full on, feet planted, just stares you down as a group. Who would like to
How's it
start?
going?
Is there an issue?
I thought you understood your role and that you would be respectful of our traditions.
Yeah, but we have questions. Like, we don't know a whole lot about what our mission was. We're figuring things out as we go.
You have questions.
You also have some stuff to report back to you about.
Yeah, what were we supposed to do when we solved the problem? Just, continue living in the forest forever? Because that was never going to happen.
Did you solve the problem?
No, we have questions.
And if we do solve this particular problem, there might be significant ramifications to it. So we thought that it would be best to let you know what we're going to do, just in case we're about to make a mistake.
Well, I think that our initial plan was a mistake, probably.
Yes, probably.
And ask your questions and give your report.
Well, who's the big guy with horns in the heart of the forest? Like, I get that we weren't supposed to go there technically, but that's where the trail led, so.
It is the heart of the forest.
He is the heart of the forest?
Yes. He protects
So killing him
he provides
be
for
bad.
us. You can't kill him.
Also, some of your cutters had this, and I pulled out the cold iron.
That is impossible.
We found it there.
Another one of your cutters said a man with a cloak and claws and a booming voice visited some dude named Ash and told him about a quicker way to get wood. And we think that maybe he somehow got this cold iron to them or something. You seem to be stirring up shit. Does that ring any bells? Cloak man, claws?
No, of course not. There are no people inside the wood except the ones we send.
Well, that's not true, though, because there was like a hut in there that they built on top of.
Yes, our huts, our cutters' homes. They still require a place to stay.
No, but the cutter said that there was a hut that was already... Am I misremembering this? Didn't he say that there was a hut that was already in there that they built on top of?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Mhm.
Okay, so there was already someone in there, and your cutters built their camp on top of where he used to live.
That is impossible.
You should really rethink this whole structure you got going on here. Like, some communication between you and the cutters, I think, would really facilitate the whole operation you got going on here. Like, what does it serve to just... I don't know. This system is all
Not that
fucking...
we're trying to shit on your entire culture.
Well, I mean, some improvements could be made.
She just sits and seethes for a second. And then she regains her composure, barely. Like, her fists are still, or her hands are still balled up into fists as she's gripping the edge of her chair. Elder Anfelin speaks with the cutters. Our system, as you claim it is not random. It is also not constructed. It is simply the way that it is. It is our pact with the forest. It is our pact with the heart. We respect it, and we honor it. That's not something you can understand, then perhaps I was right in the beginning and you are not suitable for this task.
No, we're suitable.
So-
We're on the case.
So, listen, like, yes, you have a pact with the forest. Yes, all this stuff is happening and it works for you guys. However, we also think that there is another force here that you were previously unaware about that may be as old as the forest itself, that has just been slumbering, that maybe neither you nor the forest were aware of.
That is impossible.
You
The
keep
forest-
saying that word. I don't think you know what that thing that word means.
Means what you think it means. The forest controls all. It controls everything.
Look, there's no denying the fact that we found this cold iron in your stupid forest. Like, how did it get there? You have no answers to that question.
Perhaps you brought it. Perhaps
Well,
it's
why would we do
yours.
that?
I
What
have
is this-
no
what do we-
idea. Why would you return to this village? Why would you send all of those people into a panic? Why would you disregard every safeguard and every caveat and every method we have? Why would you stomp all over us after we've
Because they
shown
might
you nothing
die.
but hospitality?
Because you might die if this
Yeah,
gets
we're
out of
trying to
control.
Also, maybe our feelings were a little hurt because you kicked us out of your cult. Just saying.
And so she takes a breath. This was a mistake. You're relieved of your task. You may go home. Go back to the world of the soldiers. We'll figure out our own problems. She hobbles to her feet.
I don't think you will, though.
Also, no can do. This is our problem, kinda. We need our ship to be repaired, so we need your wood.
Yeah.
Also, I suspect this is tied into stuff we've been dealing with. I think this weird cloaked dude is a glamored, personally.
She's got her assistant under her other arm and she's hobbling towards the door. Your problems are no longer our problems. Our problems are no longer yours. I have to go calm down an entire community. If you'll excuse me. And she hobbles her way out the door.
Let's go talk to the nicer elder.
This was the nicer elder.
Was it? I thought this was the orc lady.
This is
Let's
the orc
go-
lady.
Oh, this is
Let's
the
talk
orc
to the
lady.
nicer elder.
Yeah.
Why are we talking to her? I thought we were talking to the other one.
But you came into her hut. Like you showed up at the edge of her hut. This is where
I
she
thought
lives.
I specified that I. Okay, never mind.
I know, but you don't know where the other one lives. This is the elder hut. This is the only point of reference that
Oh,
you
okay.
have.
Gotcha.
You know where,
Okay.
this hut, and you know where the elf lives because you've seen his garden, but you've never actually been to where the halfling lives.
All right. Well, I would have. Okay, I totally would not have behaved that way if I'd known who I was talking to. I apologize to everyone.
All right, so
To be
gonna
fair,
go. For...
It's not out of Xylund's character, though.
No,
No.
it's really not. All right. So exiting the hut again, trying to find the halfling elder is pretty easy because she is also trying to calm people down. As I mean, she's fairly distinctive in her bright coloring and the fact that she has a fox that follows her around everywhere. So she's easy to pinpoint in the crowd as she is slowly coaxing people to come back to work, softly and gently.
Could we have a word?
Yeah, okay. So as you approach, the people she's talking to run, and she turns around looking mildly flustered. So you're the cause of all of this.
What is with everybody running? I did not think that the whole dead thing was so literal.
Let us go to the woods. for a moment. She kind of ushers you back around the hut and just to the forest edge, to the place where you did your trials. She pulls out one of the chairs that's been stashed to one side and sits on it. A little fox crawls in her lap. Yeah, you're dead. Sorry to say.
But we're also not.
Yeah, do these people not understand metaphors?
No.
I'm sorry, what? Like, what, do they think we're revenants or something?
Yes. They think you are rejected gifts from the forest, which means you're only here to bring us harm.
I mean, okay. I guess that makes more sense. Huh. Well, we're not dead.
You are to them. So it would be akin to seeing a ghost, but a ghost that you think has come to, strike down your whole family and curse us all with plague.
Okay, well, could you answer some questions? Because we have questions.
I will answer what I can. Yes.
So one of your cutters, I'll show the cold iron. We found that in the forest. And one of your cutters said that, I'll just tell her everything that what's his face told us.
I don't see how anyone could get iron into that forest.
Yeah, but they did.
Well, it's in your hand. I'm not sure how that could happen.
Is it possible that if somebody was, say, sponsored by somebody extremely powerful, maybe on the level of a deity, they could have potentially made it through?
Well, I would never question the motivations or abilities of the gods. It doesn't sound like a prescription for a long life. I'm not sure why God would be interested in our little bit of forest.
Should we tell her about Iranella?
Iranelle.
It's really not that
It's
bad.
an A on
Disguised.
Pig Latin.
Honestly, it just kind of sounds like Liranelle's sister or something.
It kind of does.
Good. In that case, better than people thinking we're talking in code, because then no one will get suspicious.
What do we have to tell her about Liranel, though?
Well, that this island was in like some old Liranel documents that has been like a meeting place or a sacred place of Liranel.
I think she already knows that, doesn't she?
Did we tell her that?
I just assumed.
I don't think we did. I think, if I recall, Xylund spoke in very metaphysical terms about the Liranel stuff, but not like specifically this place.
Yeah.
No.
I was operating under the assumption that she knew that we were on the same wavelength, that this was a Liranel cult.
That is just a very Xylund thing to say.
Yes. That is an odd assumption to make. But no, you haven't shared any of your specific information with her. When you did speak of Liranel, as Sid mentioned, it was in much broader and more scholarly terms, which she seemed to be comfortable discussing.
Well, let's talk specifics with her then. Like, because she's the only one that seems to not think that it's impossible that things happen. So.
Okay. So just let her know that you have some written evidence that this was a holy site of Liranel.
Yeah.
Okay. And she listens and nods and pets her fox. I don't think I've seen anything that would give me the same conclusion. Although, of the elders, I've been here the shortest amount of time. And I don't go into the forest. It's not my role.
So this isn't a Lyranel cult.
No. This group believes in the heart of the forest.
Speaking of the heart of the forest, and I described the thing that we fought. Is that really the heart of the forest, or is that
That's the heart of the forest?
cool? It almost killed us.
That's...
We also think it might be sick, based on the totems.
Yeah.
That would make sense. The heart... I've never known the forest to harm anyone. Not its creatures, not its heart.
So the markings, the ones that show the boundaries of the heart of the forest and were apparently in the trials, they seem decayed almost.
Perhaps it is ill.
There's also a bunch of dead dryads all over the place.
Yeah,
Well, that's not good.
they were being decomposed by purple moss, which honestly seemed kind of like a Fae thing, so I just kind of ignored it. But did we also tell her about the one in the bag?
Oh no,
Fire?
we haven't. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Also, one seems to have been murdered by stabbing and then put in a bag and over a fire. It seemed very bad. There's a lot going on.
Clearly.
See, my theory is, like, remember how we were talking about how there could be another dimension out there? Like, I don't remember the specifics of our conversation, but I'm pretty sure that came up.
She starts laughing behind her hand.
And that's where the glamour would come from. Like, you all seem confused about how someone could have gotten to the forest, but this woods of yours, it's clearly Fae-ish, so it could be brushing up against this other dimension where the glamour would come from. So I think a glamour had hopped over, decided to, mess with your campers and turn them against the forest somehow. And now all this shit is happening. Because the glamour are mischievous like that.
I find it really difficult to believe that the Cutters would go against the woods.
It really looks like they did, though.
Or at least someone made it look like they did, which might be why the forest got angry at them.
Well, if they're burning creatures of the heart, then yeah, clearly the forest would not take kindly to that. But as you see, and she kind of waves in the general direction of the center of the village, these people take their faith very seriously, and only the most devoted become Cutters. It would take a strong personality, indeed, to convince them to go against their beliefs.
The glamour can be pretty persuasive. Like, they got mind magic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I was going to say mind magic, yeah.
Oh, okay. Make sure you guys are on the same page then. Well, this is a lot of very disturbing information. But the heart itself actually attacked you?
We tried to reason with it.
Talking to it at first,
and then, so it wasn't like,
And it was and it was definitely not a fun experience. I nearly died twice.
We all nearly died.
You all did.
I came very close to it, yes.
Worse for wear. I would offer you a place to stay, but I'm sure you can see how that's not
possible. Yeah.
Just, I don't want to cause any more cultural rifts or any more than I already have.
I'm not sure you could cause any more cultural rifts.
Well, I'm trying to be tactful is what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you want to optimize your system here, next time you send someone into the forest to deal with, problems you're not aware of, maybe tell them, don't fuck with the big horned guy in the middle of the forest? I mean, I know you
Well,
said
to be fair,
don't go into the middle of the forest, but just, you know,
That's what we said, yes. Specifically,
to
don't
be
go to the heart of the forest.
and to be
Go ahead.
fair, like if they did tell us there was a big horned guy in the middle of the forest, we probably would have went anyways. Like, let's be real here.
Honestly, I probably would have gone just to see it.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that you did see it. I've never seen it
It's really
myself.
creepy. Mhm.
Well,
We were relieved of our duty by the other elder, but we're still gonna go back in and try to figure out what's happening.
I'd be very surprised if the forest lets you back in. Very surprised.
I mean,
We can be very persuasive.
can we?
We can try.
We can
Sometimes.
try.
We'll have Lana play the Forester song. See if that works.
What? Speaking of Lana, she should confer with her patron to see if any of this stuff is ringing a bell. Because, like Xylund said, there's a influence in these woods.
Well, we can ask her to do so tonight while we're resting.
Mhm.
She's significantly less battered than the rest of us.
Mhm.
Yeah, she is, isn't she?
Yeah,
She
that's
was
why you're a
very...
backline mage.
Excuse me, I'm a backline mage.
Yeah,
I
but
don't even know how this happened.
yeah, but like you gotta embrace that concept.
I did! I was behind everyone! That bear went right around everyone and straight to me! Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she was just lucky considering she's normally the one taking the most damage. Even though she's squishy and wears no armor.
Bards wear armor.
So Belle looks up and says, well, I'm not sure where you'll sleep tonight, but I wouldn't recommend it be here on the island. At least not
Oh.
within sight.
Oh yeah. No, definitely not.
We can make ourselves a little tiny hut or something.
Good. As long as it's not within eyesight, you should be fine. Natsa is rather infamous for her temper, and if she has sent you away and spies you on the island, it won't be pleasant.
Can you also give her the definition of impossible? Like
It's not things that are just probably unlikely. It's
that's
things like
improbable or inconceivable.
impossible are things that actually can't happen. Which the list of that is very, very, very small, and I doubt it encompasses the entirety of this forest.
This forest would surprise you, though.
It already has many
admit,
times.
even as someone who has been here such a short amount of time, comparatively, I find the forest to be a fairly miraculous place.
Oh, it is. It's very beautiful and very surprising. I was very surprised much of the time. The fact that there's a forest that still has such a strong Fey presence and all of that. It's just, it's not impossible for things outside of people's scope of knowledge to happen, right? Just because you can't conceive of it doesn't mean it's not possible.
Well, there's faith and there's reason, and these are people of faith. Faith is a good thing, though, around
Well,
here.
you should always balance it with reason.
Just out of curiosity, I might be overstepping my bounds, but you seem like a well-traveled woman and quite knowledgeable in a lot of stuff. What made you decide to settle down here?
I spent most of my life chasing knowledge, getting as close to the gods as possible, wanting to understand them, how they tick, pin them down like moth collection, something I could see and quantify and understand. And after a while, I came here just by chance on a excursion to find pre-sundering relics, and I met these people who live with their god every day. They don't see it, don't need to. They feel it, and they surround themselves with it. And I was just taken by that. And it was such a departure from everything I'd ever known, but it spoke to me in a way that nothing else ever had. So I decided to hang up my robes and quill and live like that for as long as I'm able.
In your opinion, how long has this cult been here, living with the forest?
Cult.
It's not a cult.
I don't mean to insult and degrade your culture, but how long has it been here?
I know Anfallen is a founding member. I believe it's been here over a century, maybe even 2.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly sure.
So just to refresh my memory, the writings we found that referred to this island as a place of Lirinel power, we found those in the cave, right?
Yeah, it was a reference to Ravenhook. It was about reviving Ravenhook. With
Reviving
reviving Ravenhook. But the entire message wasn't visible. It was just a sort of a bit that you picked up from the cave. It was about reviving Ravenhook. And then from your books, Ravenhook is apparently a landmark that denotes this island in particular. At the very, very, very center of the island, there is a little bit of a sort of a cliff structure, a little bit of a rock upshoot that resembles a beaked raven, really. It's the only bit of stone or like rock, not only on this island, but in this island chain. So it's fairly distinctive.
Should go check that out.
I think what's going on here, like I thought this cult was older, but maybe Lirinel's trying to drive them off the island and reclaim it.
Or it could just be a center of power that like a center of power that is having an effect. Like they don't actually care about the forest or whatever's here. It's just what they're doing is having what they're doing has a side effect of whatever's happening in the forest. Like it's a byproduct.
What do you mean?
So like it could be that there's an active Lirinel follower presence on this island, and it's not necessarily that they're intentionally doing things to the forest. It's just whatever it is they are doing is having this effect on the forest.
Like if they're doing research or if they're performing magical abilities,
profane
and
rituals of some kind.
and it's leaking into the
Okay, yeah, I get you. Yeah,
leaking
could be.
into the island.
I wasn't even thinking that. Like, okay, I guess I jumped, made another little logical leap. I'm assuming that Lirinel and the Glamored are in cahoots, and that Lirinel kind of lives in the same dimension as the Glamored, and that she's been sending Glamored across. I didn't actually think that the cultists had like a physical presence, a permanent presence here. Lirinel cultists, I mean, not the forest cultists.
I mean,
but maybe you're right. Maybe there are actual like Lirinel worshippers here as well.
I mean,
separate
I think
from these cultists.
It's entirely possible. I mean, we've come across Lirinel cultists in most surprising places. Like there was one in Greylock at the very bottom, Castle Kern.
Yeah. Maybe we should take a closer look at the island as a whole and see if we can.
Yeah, I think we should check out once we're rested, recovered. Check out that Raven's Beak stone. I think that's probably a good place to start, at least.
I've gotten 2 emotional responses from the DM. We've gotten 2 emotional responses from the DM. This is definitely the way.
Hint, hint,
Onward!
nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
All right. Are you done with Belle? Do you have any more questions?
So if we need to come back here, it's probably easier to come back invisible and just see you, probably.
If that is within your skill set, that is preferable.
Okay.
It's
It is.
best
We
if
just figured that grown-ass people would understand metaphors.
She kind of raises an eyebrow, gives an exasperated little sigh. I mean no harm.
We know.
My cottage is by the caves. I'm sure you're aware of where the caves are.
Oh, where the snails are?
Yes.
Okay.
You can skirt the village proper and come see me if you have other questions.
Okay.
Try
Will
not
do.
to panic the entirety of the community again. Or
To be
let
fair, this was
Naza see you.
kind of funny.
It's not
you gotta get.
funny.
It was a little. You got a little bit of a laugh. Yeah. It's you got to deal with all these
No,
people,
it's
but
not fun. Exactly. I have to deal with all these people now afraid that they're going to be cursed for eternity, and a very, very angry orc. So,
maybe just a little funny.
not even a little funny.
Can I make an insight check to see if she thinks it's funny?
You can, yeah, absolutely. I'll get my dice out.
I think I have. What's our provision? I think it's +10 on my insight. So
+10, holy cow.
Yeah, it's based on his wisdom. So
yeah, and
all
I have
right.
proficiency in it. So
Yeah.
Because Kern is the most paranoid of paranoid bastards.
yes.
Okay, yeah, she failed. That was terrible. She rolled a 2. Yeah, she thought it was funny, but
But it's like a one-time funny thing. She does want to.
yeah, it's like, she says no, she's being very serious and shaking her head, but clearly, her eyes are saying a whole different story. Like, she clearly thought it was funny, but she's not going to admit it in a million years that it was funny. So yeah, she waits. She kind of waits at the edge of she gets off her chair to start to head back and starts to wrap around the left-hand side, which is where her cottage would be. And but she kind of lingers by the edge. She seems to be kind of interested to see what you guys are going to do next, but doesn't want to be like,
Let's go back into the forest.
about it. We're going to try and go back into the forest?
Do we want to try to go back into the forest right away?
We can always set up a hut in there.
We might as well see if we can
I'd rather not, because falling asleep in fey areas can cause, invitations for trickery.
If it's just the edge of the forest, though, it's only slightly fey.
That is true.
I'm just saying, so don't view my tiny hut as some kind of all-powerful defense, right? It can still be dispelled, just like Kern's hut, temple, and I've heard there's a magnificent mansion that people can build magically. They could be dispelled. So
So why don't we
won't
just
bother
go
us.
somewhere outside of the village that doesn't need to be in the forest?
exactly.
That we have an easy access point into the forest. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So at the
And
edge
then
of the
Lana
forest.
can talk to her patron about, fey sickness and stuff as well tonight.
And
What were you
maybe
saying,
her
Michael?
patron has some kind of we can can determine some kind of cure, or at the very least, would understand what's going on.
What were you saying, Michael?
I'm just saying, so at the edge of the forest, basically.
Yeah. You guys can go to the edge of the forest. Again, here's not probably advisable, but you can follow the edge without actually going in if that's your concern.
I guess that's what we'll do then.
Okay. All right. So avoiding the village and tracing the edge of the forest line, you can walk. You'll eventually hit another shore. The woods themselves come very, very close to the shore. The only beach type shore is the one that you actually came up on, where you landed. Most of these are slightly raised and a little more craggy. So it's more of a sheer drop than it is a sloping beach. But there is enough space, sort of scraggy, brushy type land between the edge of the cliff and the actual forest line that you can camp out there if you're too scared to go inside.
Yes. Far too scared.
Okay.
Plus,
you pitch your hut
and we
and
send Lana into the painting.
Lana's gonna go into the painting. Okay, who gets to be Lana then? Well, I guess you were doing it before, Michael. Do you feel like being Lana again, or do you want to sit this
I
one
have
out?
no idea how to play Lana as a character.
No, okay.
Yeah,
You're not gonna get the
this would
accent out
definitely,
again?
this would
Does
definitely be a
Xylund
no.
also want to go in since he has a good rapport with?
Oh God.
I don't know. This is kind of. I feel like if we're gonna send Lana into the painting, we should wait for Noel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
thing.
was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly thought that that's what we were gonna do because, like, that's definitely a
Okay,
her
we can
thing.
hold off on that
Yeah.
unless Xylund did want to go in, since Xylund is the only other person other
I
than
mean, I
Hildreth.
could go in by myself, but I don't know if Lana would
Yes,
want that.
that is true. She may not
Yeah,
want you
probably not.
involved.
She's pretty possessive
her
of her
patron.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she likes her patron.
Like she
Okay.
doesn't mind me going in, but she wants to go in with me usually.
Yeah.
Well, like, that's understandable. We know what happens when you're unchaperoned.
Yeah, this is my fey pocket dimension. You don't get to get into my pocket dimension on your own.
Yeah, can't talk to my friends. All right. So, is there anything else anyone would like to do in your downtime while you're all getting patched up and rested and going over the day's events?
I just want to sleep.
I think we're mostly good.
Okay.
If Lana can't make it to the next session, I guess we should just not send her into the painting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give her the opportunity. So everybody's good then? Everyone's just gonna rest for the night?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Do you guys want to wrap here then, or is there something else you'd like to do?
Probably a good idea to wrap here. This
Okay.
way,
Yeah,
like Noel we can give updates to Noel, and she can.
Yeah. Hopefully she'll be able to
I'm
make it to the next
assuming
one.
at some point in that, because I don't know if I have the spell slots for it, but I'm assuming at some point in that conversation, since I wasn't talking much, I could have taken a short rest, used Arcane Recovery, so that I can cast Tiny Hut.
Well, it's a ritual.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can do it as a ritual.
It is a ritual. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my character sheet, so
I know.
forgot
but
everything.
No, I checked just in case. No, yeah, you can do it as a ritual, and then hopefully next time Roll20 will be on better behaviors. You guys can actually update yourselves for a long rest
And hopefully Null is
And
there
prepare
too.
for battle.
and prepare for whatever it is you think you're going to do. But yeah, we hopefully Noel will be available next session. See if she wants to go talk to her
You
patron.
probably shouldn't kill the heart of the forest.
No, I'm thinking like I had a whole thing I was gonna do if we were gonna do that, but I'm let's not, at least for now. It seems like it'd be
Unless
bad.
we know that the only way to like have it be like rebirth is to kill it and then like Great Deku tree it, where you kill the tree and then like a sprouting comes up. It's like, I'm the new Great Deku tree.
Only if it talks like that. That's the only acceptable future.
That would be on you, wouldn't it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is it's going to talk like that.
It might need to talk like that. I might need to scribble out some notes and make some changes. All right. Well, I'm sorry, Roll20 was such a jerk, but at least this way, maybe Noel will be available next time.
Well, because Roll20 went out, we didn't just like go back blindly in and fight this thing. We actually got more information.
That is true. That is true. And all it took was terrorizing a small village and pissing off one of the elders. And
the village had terrorized itself. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm pretty sure you guys did.
They did not explicitly tell us not to come back. They're just like, the people that go in are dead and they stay in the forest. They've never told us not to come back.
Although it does kind of make sense the way that they looked at it. Like, coming back means the forest rejected you. You're no longer a gift. What did you guys do? You sold us into an eternal forest.
I'm just saying, for a group of people that are really upset that the village doesn't understand what metaphors are, y'all don't read between the lines very well. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Y'all were told all this and y'all just dove in.
And then you just came back.
Honestly,
it's a metaphor.
If Lily had known all of this, she probably would have said something like, guys, maybe we shouldn't, join this cult.
I think Noel would have just done it for the entertainment value, though.
Yeah,
True. True, but I like to have my objections noted on the record.
Yes.